If you can ask Prof, Prof, are you around? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We are checking if Prof has joined the call. Uh,
I think he said he joined with a different name,
is that, is it?
just to confirm.
Okay. Infinix X65.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
It
okay.
has a name. I think it's Dr. Agatha Samson. Confirm.
This Dr. Agatha Samson. We are trying to confirm if that is Professor Samson Duna's. Uh,
Yeah, I
oh,
think he said he joined with the wives. So confirm. I've made him a co-host so that you can ask him to unmute.
okay, let me do that. That call has dropped. Okay. Let's just be patient for Prof to join in. The call dropped. Okay, Prof, we just want to confirm that you can hear us. Can you please, let's confirm you are Dr. Agatha Samson and you can hear us, Prof. Okay, it is confirmed that Prof joined with Dr. Agatha Samson. So,
Can you hear me now?
yes, Prof, we can hear you and very clearly. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome every one of you to Engineering Telegraph's Inside the Arena
Oh.
Season 42. And I just want to assure you that today is going to be a very interesting one, especially that we have on the hot seat our guest, who is one person every one of us loves to listen to him. He is Professor Samson Duna, uh, Engineer Professor Samson Duna, Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, NIBRI. I'll be co-hosting uh, this season with our very amiable engineer Ben Ositadimma Oko, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers, the field marshal himself, and the Commissioner of Works and Infrastructure, Enugu State. May I bring up Engineer Ben Ositadimma Oko, please, on the call? My Oga.
Ejika, go on, please.
All right. Thank you very much. So I welcome every one of us to this call. Everyone who has joined us on this call, I can see uh, already joined in the Deputy President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, member of the Order of the Federal Republic. You are very, very much welcome, sir. All the distinguished branch chairmen of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. I can see the branch chairman of Abuja branch, Engineer Ahmed ASY Kutigi on the call. You are welcome. I can also see uh, Meduguri branch chairman, Engineer MB Shetima. We welcome you. And every one of you, I may not see you now, but definitely we'll get to recognize you as the event goes on. But then we have to go straight to while we are here so that we can all meet up with our time. So ladies and gentlemen, quickly go to our interview session with our uh, guest who will be on the hot seat. So please, I would like every one of you to pay attention to as we do this interview, as we ask these questions, because in the end, uh, you will get to answer some questions and then equally go home with one or two gifts, one gift for 3 persons. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest will be taking his seat and then you will get to know him from the questions we will be asking him as we put him on the spot. So, Prof, are you ready? Prof, I'd like to confirm from your voice that you are ready and you should be well seated. Let's give Prof a little time. And please remember our rules for the arena. Just keep your questions, write them down, keep them because we shall be putting Prof on the hot seat. After his session, we shall now have to take your own questions and then we will now ask you our own question where you get to get a gift. So Prof, shall we begin?
Yeah. So am I audible enough?
Very, very audible, Prof.
Oh, thank you very much.
So Prof,
Sorry, I have to
can
rush.
we...
I left Abuja this afternoon for just I have to rush to see that I meet up with the time. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay,
I'm happy
okay.
to be here.
Thank you very much, Prof. So many persons are on this call. We have about 55 persons now, including you and myself. And they are just surprised. Who is Prof? Who is he? Yes, they know you very well. But can we meet you, Prof?
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. There's nothing much to know about Prof. Prof is just a simple chap born in 1968. Precisely on 13th March 1968. I started my primary school in St. Luke's here in Jos. I started my primary school in 1974. I ended up in the Holshe Girin Primary School. The name of the school has been changed. It is now Olusegun Obafemi Primary School here, opposite the State Polytechnic here in Plateau State, Jos. After which I proceeded to my secondary school. I went to Government Science Secondary School, Toro. Atoro is in Bauchi State, about 32 kilometers from Jos. Immediately after the 5 years thing, after my secondary school, I sat for IJ, I went for SBS by then. It's like a vow. When you are through, you need to go to SBS before you proceed. I went to SBS Zaria precisely in 85. I spent 3 months in SBS Zaria where I got admission through JAM to read civil engineering at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. After my summer term, I proceeded to Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. By then, the course of engineering is 6 years. So I went and spent 6 years again at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, and graduated in 1991. But now the course duration has been reduced from 6 to 5 years, in line with other courses, engineering courses offered in the country. After that, I proceeded to my NYSC, which is the compulsory NYSC if you are below the age of 30. I went to, and I served at the former Oyo State. It was during our time that the state was divided into two. I was posted to Oyo, but when the state was divided into two, is it lucky for me I was posted to Osun State. So we are the first set of corpers to serve in Osun. After going through the camp in Ede, I was posted to Obafemi Awolowo Civil Engineering Department for my primary assignment. With all respect, I was posted under Professor Ogedenge, a renowned professor of civil engineering by then. His blessed memory is late. And I worked with him for good 1 year at Obafemi Awolowo University. I never knew that the teaching profession has been following me. And then I went to visit my head of department by then. Then my head of department told me that he learned that I served with Obafemi Awolowo University. I said yes. He said, "Have you come to join us?" I said, yes, I'm interested, but he said, no, if you are in, you are in. If you are out, you are out. I ended up finding myself as a lecturer with the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University precisely in 1992. So from there, I started as a graduate assistant in 1992. The position I held up to 2018 when I was promoted to the rank of professor in 2017, I think. So I've been lecturing from 1992 to up to 2018. As a lecturer, there are quite a lot of responsibility one has taken as a lecturer at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. I've been an acting head of department. I've been a coordinator. I've been IT officer. I've been an exam officer. I've been the deputy dean. I was the dean of students of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. And I serve as admission officer under the consultancy arm of the university. I was a consultant to the consultancy arm of the university. I held a lot of different posts, one committee or the other. I worked as engineer for TED Fund there, for PTDF, sorry, not TED Fund. Quite a lot of responsibility I held. But in 2018, I decided to shift the responsibility. I said, let me try a research that has practical application. I went to Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute as director of research, the position that I held for 2 years before I became the acting director general of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute. In 2020, I was confirmed as a substantive director general of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute. 4 years after, precisely on the 4th of December 2024, I was also given the second tenure as the Director General of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute. So I've been working in that aspect, and that has been all I've been doing from day one when I graduated in 1991 up to today in doing 1 or 2 engineering applications in life. That has
Oh,
just been my simple history.
that's
Thank you
that's
very much.
that's very, very wonderful. And that is Prof in one brief. So, Prof, you began your educational journey in 1974. Now, I want you to tell us what key memories from your childhood in Jos shaped your outlook on life.
Kai,
What key memories from
that
your
is a
childhood
very, very
shaped
interesting
your
question.
outlook in life?
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, I love that because I did 3 primary schools in Jos. I started in St. Luke's Primary School in 1974. I proceeded to Ekan Primary School, Vuang in Christian Hospital in Vom. Then I ended up in Holshe Primary School. My dad was a retired policeman, and as he's been transferred, he moved with his family. That has been how my school continued to change in Jos. I learned a lot of things in Jos when I was growing up, and that memory still lingers in my brain. I can speak Birom very fluent as if it's my tribe. Why? Because culturally, I grew up in that environment. I can adapt to the way they live. When you see me, somebody will tell me that I'm from Plateau State. From there in 1976, I joined the Boys Brigade, and I've gotten quite a lot of good friends, and which all those memories still lingers on me. I was taught to be independent starting from Jos, knowing fully well that as a Boys Brigade boy, you are trained to march, you are trained to endure and to carry out long distance, what I will call endurance track. So staying independently, enduring hardship, trying to adjust with the situation, making friends up to date, and teaching you on how to live started all the way from Jos. And up to today, I want to assure you that that memory still lingers on me. And I'm very happy that Jos has been part of my life.
Oh, that's very awesome, Prof. You know, it's most times when we look back to our childhood, we see those things that push us, especially to where we are right now. But Prof, looking back, what drove your decision to pursue civil engineering at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University?
Uh, the idea of civil engineering started as far back as 1981. 1981 is when we moved to our permanent site in Government Science Secondary School, Toro. The day I was in class 1, third term, the engineer is called Mr. Thomas. He was the engineer that built the school. People that know Science School Toro very well, it has a beautiful edifice, well constructed. And the white man, the engineer that supervised the construction, was a white man, while the contractor was an indigenous contractor. The entire building was designed by architect Alex Ekweme, the former vice president of Nigeria. A very beautiful edifice. So the day I came, I saw him operating a tractor. I saw him reading, interpreting a map. I saw people surrounding him. I saw him teaching responsibility here and there. Then when he came out, he was telling us that, children, can you go and fetch water for me? Can you go and fetch water for me if there was having issue? So I volunteered to pick a bucket to go pick people among to go and fetch water for him. So when I brought the water, I dropped it. Then I asked him, I said, you are given responsibility. I saw you operating tractor, operating bulldozer. Which course did you need? He said he read civil engineering. He said, with civil engineer, you can be on road. With civil engineer, you can be in building. With civil engineer, you can be on bridges and quite a lot of areas. Since that day, I became in love with civil engineering. And I made up my mind that, God's willing, I want to read civil engineering. But along the line, when I was in Form 3-4, Some people came with the idea of civil is getting outdated. There is no job for civil engineers. Go and read electrical or chemical. So the idea of chemical engineering started coming onto my head. But when I came to Form 5, at the point of choosing the first course in JAM, somebody told me that, now you are from a developed country. And as far as development is concerned, we are still developing. Buildings will continue to come up. Bridges will continue to come up. Road will continue to come up. As a developing country, you are lacking in such areas. Civil will never lack jobs. And my idea shifted back to civil. And from there on, I started going in love with civil, started reading civil, and up to today, I'm into civil. So the idea of civil started far back as 1981. From that, Mr. Thomas, who is an engineer that constructed the school, and to become what it is today. So you can see where the idea of civil started on me.
Wow, wow, wow. That is very awesome. So who can you say were the biggest influences in your formative years academically and personally? The biggest influences in your
Yes,
formative years
academically,
academically?
my model or the person that influenced me quite a lot is Professor Aladisle Batawal, an authority in civil engineer, a guru in geotechnics, an intelligent man, hardworking, a first-class product of Ahmadu Bello University in 1978. He's my teacher, he taught me. And since the day I entered his class, the way he sat down to teach and express himself fluently influenced me. I was so motivated by the way he does things. And he became my mentor. And up to today, I continue to respect him as my mentor because he taught me the basics of what civil engineering is all about. Professor Matawal is known as a structural engineer. He's good in structures and he's good in geotechnics. So those two combinations made me, though I did not major in geotechnics, I majored in structural engineering. Professor Matawal is a geotechnical engineer. He's among the few civil engineers that I became motivated to follow them and to set their pace. And another person is not a civil engineer that motivated me is Mr. Abdon Dalagin, former head of service, Bauchi State. That man is prompt with respect to time. If you're talking about time, it ends on Abdon Gin. He's just a black man by skin, but all his ideas is white man. When you say you are meeting by 8, before 7:45, Abdon Gin will be there. He is a straightforward person, highly intelligent, somebody that knows his job. So these two people in life, they have really influenced me to become what I am today. I look at them as mentors in all aspects, and they are my role model, and I continue to appreciate them.
Wow, that is very, very awesome. Prof, we know that you are very deep-rooted in community life. Now, how did growing up in Plateau State shape your values?
You see, when you grow in Plateau State is full of quite interesting things. We organize a lot of programs in Jos under different canopy. I'll continue to mention Boys Brigade because my life has been centered on Boys Brigade. We go for hiking, we go for a lot of programs in the bush. By then, when security situations is safe, you can go for program for 2-3 days in the bush. You can come to construct bridges as community effort. People, sometimes where there is no motorable, you find out people coming to do communal effort. People coming to take stones from different locations so that you create a road where there are no roads. So as a young man growing in Plateau State, I discovered that there are quite a lot of things. Not just, again, is full of mining ponds. We go for swimming, strong-headed people to go and enter a pond where there's water and so on and so forth. As a young man growing in Plateau State, I have quite a lot of memories that are positive, memories that I'll continue to cherish, memories that made me who I am today. With respect to enduring hardship, with respect to communal effort, with respect to trying to be an independent as a person. So you can see how I wish I will invite you to just one day to come and grow up with me again.
I think I would love to do that, and I'll come with my boss, Engineer Ben Ositadima Oko. So, Prof, now let's go back to your career progression. You rose through the ranks from graduate assistant to professor of civil engineering. You definitely will know that you would have some challenges. What were the biggest challenges on that journey?
I'm telling you, it's not an easy task. The first challenge is an area of motivation. I remember precisely when I started as a graduate assistant. I started in October. In December, I was given an appointment as an ASP cadet officer, police, to report at Monele Square at Kamsalem House in Lagos. Up to today, I still have my appointment letter and my call letter to go in as an ASP under Works Department in Nigerian Police Force. So when I started in October 2nd, my salary, I still remember, was 3,020 naira per month, 3,020 naira per month. It was just immediately after Jega had a blunt confrontation with the government by then during the time of IBB, when salary of academic staff was increased. The graduate assistant salary was 3,020 naira. While I was there, I was invited as a cadet ASP. So I wanted to go to police and leave the teaching I'm doing. Then I went to the headquarters of police in Bauchi to ask their salary so that I don't move to a disadvantaged position. The salary of ASP by then was 1,448 naira. That was what I was informed. Then I said, how should I leave a salary of 3,020 to move to a salary of 1,448? Does that make sense? So that is how idea of going back to ASP, I discarded the idea completely. And I decided to continue in the line of academics. What really challenged, the first challenge is in area of motivation. Sincerely speaking, the motivation to be a lecturer is not there when I started. We are among the few good products that graduated. Let us be frank with ourselves. People that graduate in the university and those that are retained are always good in the system. People that I'm not saying people that are going somewhere are not good, but people that are retained as teachers seem to be the best out of the people that graduate. So knowing fully well that you are good, then along the line, you continue to live a life that looks haggard. All your colleagues that are working somewhere will come with a car to come and greet you. You are hitting the street with your leg with no car. Sincerely speaking, it is not interesting and the motivation was not there. I was even having the mind of leaving the system because it was not encouraging. The salary was terribly poor at one time, but we decided to sit down in that aspect. So the first challenge was the motivation. The second challenge is the issue of laboratory equipments that are not basically there. At times you want to do experiments. At times you have to look at it when you see a journal from a foreign journal. And if you look at the experimental setup, you discover that you virtually have nothing to do with it. And you are expected to write.
Sorry, our guest went out. I'm sure he'll be back soon. Prof, you are muted. Sorry, we lost you. Welcome back.
Is happening. Are you with me, please?
Yes, we are with you.
So in a summary, I'm trying to say that the first thing was motivation. The second thing was lack of facilities to work with. It was
Okay.
challenging, and you are expected to present papers. And if you look at a journal paper from outside the country, you look at it, you don't have the equipment. You don't have even to do something similar to it. It's not there. And you are expected, without those publications, you cannot be promoted. That's the most important thing. It was demoralizing at the beginning, but gradually you have to come up. At the beginning, let me tell you, this journal thing, it was not easy. For your paper to be published, it takes time. Thank God for online publications now. They are everywhere. When you send in a paper, by next 2-3 weeks, it has been published. But at that time, in 80s, 90s, it takes the grace of God for your paper to be published. I remember I have to write 3-4 times. The papers were rejected. You were discouraged. But at the end, it started picking up. Not that, before your paper is accepted, it has to go to a professional body journal. But now everybody has made it like a business sector. As you put in money, no paper is corrected, and it becomes a paper and published. And the requirement for promotion has been either paper or nothing. So at that time, it was a little bit difficult, but gradually it has become a bit easier now, because when you write paper, it becomes paper, sometimes without even correcting anything. It is bad, but at least the standard is there, and so on and so forth. So that is, apart from motivation, equipment is there, journal paper is there because it is hard for it to be. And again, people who are leaving the system, sincerely speaking. Almost all my colleagues that came before anything, all of them left the system. Nobody wants to stay. So you discover that those are part of the challenges, but at last, we made up our mind to stay, to salvage the system, and we didn't leave. Even when the people are leaving, the interest to leave was not there. We decided to stay, and that's why we put in 26 years in the academic sector before shifting our base somewhere.
Wow, Prof, you just described some part of your 26 years in the academia. So can you tell us, Prof, what legacy have you left behind with your students and with all of these situations?
One thing that I know, I'm someone that is passionate when I'm given a responsibility to do. Failure does not exist in my dictionary at all. Any course I'm given, I take it with all sincerity of purpose. Ask my students, I'm someone that I don't miss lectures. When I miss lecture, I'm not in town. That's why even after my class, my students imitate me in the class, because I made it stick to their brain. Up to today, as I'm talking to you, some of my students that encounter problem on site, they call me for possible solution. And we discuss some solutions with them because of the way I taught them. I taught bridge design. I taught reinforced concrete. I taught civil engineering materials. I taught timber design. I taught steel structures. And all these structures, these courses that I taught at undergraduate, master's or PhD level, I try to put in my best. One thing that I left in terms of legacy with my student is that if my student become a teacher, I want to assure you that the idea of ensuring that he doesn't miss lecture has been inculcated in his brain. Any laboratory work, I carry out lab work myself. I don't believe in the technologies giving me result. If I'm doing civil engineering material, I go to the lab myself, test material, test quality materials, and come up with a result. So I try to set the pace for my students to emulate what I'm doing. In that aspect, I don't play with that. In terms of responsibility, I was the dean in Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. And since I became the dean, to the day I left the university, there have never been a single iota of riot when I was in the dean. I operated an open door policy to interact with the student at all levels. And whatever input, they are still enjoying the dividends of my effort as the Dean of Students of Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. So you can see, with respect to that, I still maintain a cordial relationship with my SUG officials, student union government, people that were in name of affairs at that time. We still maintain a good working relationship together. To tell you that I still maintain that idea of openness. And it is this openness of an idea that I decided to borrow it and bring it and start applying it in Nibri. So those have been some of the things that I've done. So I leave what I'm leaving behind, or what I inculcated in my students. One is the area of integrity. Two, hard work. Three, laziness is not part of it. Number four, I ensure that, please, you should live by example. Try not to wait for somebody to do something for you. Participate. And when you participate, you get the best from it.
Oh, that's very wonderful, Prof. Okay, my boss.
All right, Prof. And for those who are good, once again, good evening, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are just joining us, we have inside the arena a very distinguished Nigerian engineer, a professor of civil engineering, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, Engineer Professor Samson Duna, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Prof, it's a pleasure to have you inside the arena season 42. Talking about NIBRI, what inspired your transition from university teaching to the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute?
My commissioner, you are breaking up. Oga Ben, am I the only one not hearing you very well? It seems you are breaking up.
I say, what inspired your transition from university teaching to the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, NIBRI?
Okay, I hear you now very well. Yes, my honorable commissioner, it's good to see you, Oga Ben, and my chairman, NLC Guinea. Thank you. What inspired me to NIBRI is in the idea of application.
I think we've lost Prof.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you, Prof. You can go
Hello,
on.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You can go on.
I'm sorry, where I am is like it's fluctuating. The data is not stable. What inspired me to come to
You
NIBRI
can go on,
basically?
Prof. We can hear you.
Yes, thank you. What inspired me to go to NIBRI is in issue of application of research output. In the university, all they are centered on is just to write papers, and it stops at that. No matter how good the research is in the university, it is in the shelf. It goes nowhere. Nobody seems to use it in terms of application. You do quite a lot of good jobs, but the jobs are in the shelf. Nobody seems to use it. Then I started thinking of, where do I think I can apply the outcome of the research output? Then when the opportunity came to me to move to NIBRI, not as the DG, I went to NIBRI as Director of Research to see that I utilize the outcome of any research that I do. So the idea of going to NIBRI came in. I went there as leave of absence. First 2 years, then another 2 years. So basically, when I went to NIBRI, the idea is that any outcome of research, there is always opportunity for you to practicalize your research output. If your research is promising, there is a way you demonstrate it for people to see. So that is one of the things that took me to NIBRI. Basically to see that the outcome of this research are put into practice. And that's exactly what took me to NIBRI. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can you hear me, Prof?
I didn't hear you. What's the question?
I said, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prof, can you hear him?
Can you hear me, Prof?
You are breaking up.
Okay,
I can't
can you hear
but
me?
I can hear your question. You said, I can hear you now. Yes.
I said among your numerous research publications, which one stands out as the most impactful to Nigeria's development?
Okay. Hello? Are
Can
you
you
with
hear?
me?
I said among your numerous research publications,
Hello?
which one stands out as the most impactful to Nigeria's development?
Okay. Yes. Yes, I've done quite a lot of research. Most of my research are good, are practically oriented, but the one that is common, that has most positive on the construction sector in Nigeria is the quality assessment of Nigerian concrete blocks, which became the star paper of that journal that year. I wrote 3-4 times. The paper was slanted down, correct this. I nearly wanted to throw it away. But it came up with quite a lot of information on how the concrete blocks are produced in the country, what is making it to lose quality, the standard that is not followed, and quite a lot of the quality assessment of Nigerian blocks as produced in Nigeria. So this is one paper that I still continue to cherish it because it's among the few papers that I wrote at the beginning of my career as a graduate assistant. And it was accepted and it became a star paper, a covering paper from the editorial point of view. The editor made mention of the paper as the star paper of that journal for that year.
All right, thank you, Prof. Your first tenure as DG of NIBRI was so successful that it earned you a renewal from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What specific milestones do you consider your proudest achievements?
When I came to NIBRI precisely in 2018 as Director of Research, before I was given the acting position as the DG in 2019, I discovered that NIBRI was established basically to carry out research in the area of building and roads. So our main aim, the essence of creating NIBRI, establishing NIBRI, is to carry out research. And anything that will affect research is prominent and very, very important to me. I started looking at it from my lecturing point of view. What are the factors that affect research? One, I look at it from the equipment point of view. Without equipment, nothing good can come. Reasonable research cannot be done. Why? Because the facility to do the research is not there. So one area that I've put, or I look at it, an area of our strength, is to establish standard laboratory equipment that has never existed in this country. And today is one area that I can boast or hit my chest to tell you that NIBRI has the best transportation laboratory in Nigeria and Africa in particular. We have come with quite a lot of recent asphalt testing equipment. We were able to move from the, we came to with all materials that will analyze bitumen and asphalt, separating the quartz aggregate from the binders. We came with early aging, quite a lot. I want to use this opportunity to invite, if we have listeners that are listening, visit Nibri, and Nibri will tell you the type of facilities they have. Another area which I want to draw the attention of the audience is the characterization equipment lab. Nibri has SEM, XRF, and XRD. A student from one of the universities traveled to South Africa to carry out experiments with respect to SEM equipment. Then they informed the student, please go back to Nigeria. There's an agency in Nigeria that has SEM. The student was surprised. They said, go to NIPRI. When the student met me, I took her to where the lab, the equipment is. She started shouting that she can't believe there is an agency having SEM in Nigeria. So I want to tell you, NIPRI, one area that I think I can boast of is in the area of laboratory equipments, making the equipment available so that meaningful research can take place.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Prof, for that information. And I believe our participants have taken note of what you said just now. Talking about your new 4 years in office, what are your immediate priorities?
I came up, yes, I came on with 4-point agenda, 4 points agenda that God's willing I want to achieve before I leave. The first is in area of collaboration with our foreign counterparts. Idea of saying the foreign counterparts are better than us, I don't want it to be there. I traveled to Canada. I went and saw the number of equipment, the list. I look at the available equipment they have in their labs. It's not that they are doing far better than us. Our difference with them is about 1 or 2 equipments in transportation that they have that we don't have. I was in Delft University, Netherlands. I went and checked what they have. I agree, there are 1 or 2 things that they have that we don't have. But in terms of assessment, we can boast of 80% of what they have. So what are we talking about? Where are we found wanting in area of research? It's in area of implementation. I would like to see where research output are implemented. That is our problem. Change has been one of the most difficult things to adopt in Nigeria. People are used to adopting, are used to clicking themselves to try things. New things, area of doing things, people don't want to adopt. Now we came up with a product called Pozzolana, a product of cement substitute. That Pozzolana has been existing. We've been agitating to people, come and patronize Pozzolana. They say, no, 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 no. I don't want to do something that I prefer going with cement. There are a lot of new products that Nibri has innovated, but people try to click to the old one because of change. I would like to see how innovations are implemented. That is my first goal, to see that research output are put into place. Number 2, I would like to see how facilities are made available for staff to use in terms of office facilities to make the work easy for them. I came up, most of the offices were rented, but today I can boast of most of the offices are owned by us. Gombe zonal office is presently owned. The Kano zonal office is our own. The Nnewi zonal office is our own. We are working towards getting the Uyo zonal office so that we'll get a land and construct an edifice befitting of NIPRI statute. So all other offices that were rented before, it has now become our own, which we are working to acquire. Another aspect is in the area of welfare. I discovered that welfare has been one area without motivation, you can't get the best from your staff. I have to come in with the area of welfare. Welfare can come in area of palliatives. Welfare can come in form of transportation. As of today in Nipri, all the routes in Abuja have made transportation available for my staff. There's a vehicle for Mararaba, there's a vehicle for Orozo that cater for staff, there's a vehicle for Airport Road, there's a vehicle for Kubwa, there's a vehicle for Suleja, there's a vehicle for different routes as far as you are staying in Abuja that convey staff from office to their area of location. So welfare has been there, and I try my best to see that from time to time the palliatives are felt so that staff, I can get the best from them. Another area that I want to be remembered as far as Nibri is to see that issue of assessing quality construction materials is utilized. How do you know a material is qualitative? You need to carry out some tests in the lab using a standard equipment. Steel is one area that I would like the government to look into it. The quality of steel used in this country is in doubt. We have a big machine in NIPRI called UTM. UTM simply means Universal Testing Machine. It measures all the properties of steel, from its tensile property to its elongation, to its strain and stress, and so on and so forth. Normally, we have 3 grades of steel, grade 43, 55, and so on. Normally, when you are designing a reinforced concrete structure, you go on with what we call a tensile property of Fy. You have 460, 410, or 250. But if you assess the quality of the steel we have in the market, you discover that the quality of steel are always in doubt. A grade 460 steel, tensile property Fy of 460. When we measure it, we are getting 415. When you are expected to have 410, we are getting 395. When we are getting 250, we are getting 220. So this is a dangerous trend that is coming up. We look at it, you discover that accident vehicles are recycled to produce steel, which is not supposed to. So the quality of construction material need to be looked into. Quality of concrete need to be looked into. You cannot look into the quality of construction materials without a standard laboratory equipment. So basically, those are areas I want to come up with, and especially the ugly menace of building collapse. Building collapse has been there, and we are trying to see as a research institute to see that the issue of this building collapse becomes minimized or eliminated completely. Because building collapse is as a result of somebody somewhere failing to carry out his responsibility. And if that is reduced, I think I'll be a satisfied and most fulfilled person. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Prof. Moving forward, how has NIBRI under your leadership contributed to solving Nigeria's infrastructure challenges?
Hello?
I say, how has NIBRI under your leadership contributed to solving Nigeria's infrastructure challenges?
Thank you, my Honorable Commissioner. You see, NIBRI is all about carrying out research, carrying out innovations, coming up with something new, adding value to what we do with respect to infrastructure, with respect to quality of materials, and so on and so forth. NIBRI has been in the forefront of coming up with alternative construction materials. And these alternative construction materials are always lower in cost as compared to the conventional ones. NIBRI has come up with compressed earth blocks, whereby they construct a building with the compressed earth blocks. These compressed earth blocks is easy in terms of technological and technical know-how. Instead of laying the blocks with mortar, you interlocked it. And instead of taking longer time and labor with respect to material, less hours is put in and the building come into play. And if you construct a house using these compressed earth blocks, during the rainy season or during the cold weather, when you go in, the room is always warmer. So during warm weather, if you go in, it is cooler. So NIBRI has come up with a technology that adapts or regulates the environment if you use that type of material to construct. We have come up with a particular roofing tiles called Madera tiles. And these tiles, when you use it, it's far cheaper than the normal tiles that we have. We have come up with plastic roofing material that is there. We have come up with bamboo to replace steel. It's not replacing steel 100%, but it replaced the main steel as reinforcement in reinforced concrete structure. It ends up reducing the cost of the infrastructure. NIBRI has come up with pozzolana, as I've mentioned, to supplement the quantity of cement. Where you are expected to use 100 bags of cement, you might end up using 60 bags of cement and 40 bags of pozzolana, thereby reducing the cost of building generally. You will agree with me that what makes a building or what makes an infrastructure to be high in terms of cost, 80% come from the cost of the material. If you can reduce the cost of material, the cost of this infrastructure will drastically reduce. So NIBRI is in the forefront of coming up with alternative material that are cheaper, available, and sustainable. And this material, once it is adopted and used, you end up having the entire cost of building coming up. It is during one of the housing show that I approached the Minister for Housing. I met him, I was in his office last week, and what I pleaded with him is for him to give NIBRI a plot of land. What we wanted to do is to construct different bungalow, different houses, a simple room with a toilet and a kitchen, a simple room and a parlor with toilet and a kitchen, 2-bedroom flat with a toilet and a kitchen, 3-bedroom flat with a toilet and a kitchen, using NIBRI innovations purely. We want to compute and see how much does it take to have 1-bedroom flat? How much does it take to have 2-bedroom flat using technology? The idea is to crash the price of building. Once this is crashed, NIBRI will make building affordable to Nigerians. Where you are expected to get millions before getting a house, I want to assure you with 3, 4, maximum of 5 million, you can end up getting a 2-bedroom flat using materials that are innovated by NIBRI.
Wow. All right, you are a fellow of several engineering institutions. How has belonging to these professional bodies shaped your leadership style? Did you hear me, Prof?
Hello, as you are talking at the end, it cut off at the end. I couldn't hear it at the end.
I say you,
but
you are a fellow.
Several.
You are a fellow of several engineering institutions. How has belonging to these professional bodies shaped your leadership style?
You see, as a fellow, you are looked onto by the young people in the organization. I'm a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Transportation Engineers. I'm a fellow of more than 9 organizations in Nigeria, mostly in the engineering sector. Others are not in the engineering sector. And most of the times, anytime I have the opportunity of delivering a paper, I try to capture the young ones so that I let them know that the future before them in this organization matters a lot. I'm a fellow of Nigerian Society of Engineers, and most at times in NIBRI, we have quite a lot of engineers, either civil, electrical, mechanical, and they are still there. And as a fellow, what I always tell them is that try and pay your dues. When you pay your due, you will live a life of example for others to come by you. So as a fellow, you are like, look as a role model. The young people look onto you with respect to that. Number 2, I'm a fellow of ASEN. ASEN is a Academy of Nigerian Nigerian Science and Engineers in Nigeria, ASEN. And in that aspect, we deliver paper that has to do with the challenges that a country is passing through in terms of infrastructure. One time I was invited to deliver a paper on building collapse, and I brought out about 7 to 8 recommendations, things to be put in. And I sent those recommendations to the relevant stakeholders so that they can put those recommendations into practice. But to my dismay, to my surprise, almost all my recommendations were not put into place. Had it been they are put to place, I want to assure you that, hello, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
Oh,
yes,
they just took light.
We can.
That's one of the issues of, but let me continue. So I did strong recommendations that has to do with what to be put in place so that building collapse will be things of the past. My recommendations were not adhered to, despite the fact that I'm fellow. But the good thing is that as a fellow, when you talk, people know that you're talking from area of authority. When you speak, people know that someone that knows his field is speaking. And I try to inculcate that into my area of leadership so that I'll end up mentoring the young ones to become good future leader in future.
Okay, Prof. I will take 2 more questions before I hand over to Ejika to conclude the session. Now, beyond engineering, you are national president of the Boys Brigade, Nigeria. How do you balance faith-based community leadership with your professional duties?
You see, as I mentioned it earlier, I have passion. Anything I'm having the responsibility to do, I have passion for it. I joined the Boys Brigade as far back as 1976 as a child of about 6 years old, about 6 or 8 years old. And as a Boys Brigade, you do a lot of obstacle jumping, race, make you looking fit and do parade, do a lot of things. And since then, I've been going through the system. I passed through all the ranks in the Boys Brigade, becoming the national president. We call ourselves the #1 boy. I'm the #1 boy in Nigeria as of today. And the good thing about this is that I serve as a role model to many young people. Boys Brigade is centered about teaching a boy to become a God-fearing future leader, a God-fearing father of tomorrow. When the Boys Brigade is centered on a boy, all the effort of the Boys Brigade is to ensure that the boy is taught to grow up in fear of the Lord and to become a good father tomorrow. So as the DG and at the same time the national president of the Boys Brigade, they look into me, they look at me. When a boy doesn't want to look serious, he say, look at my president. My president was a lecturer in the university. My president was this. My president was this. So it serves as a moral poster for the boy to copy. So I serve as a role model for the boy to emulate me. I'm just coming yesterday from Uyo. I visited the state council of the Boys Brigade. The young people came out. I encouraged them to put in their best. I end up becoming someone teaching the young people on career guidance. Why? Because I've been a teacher myself. I've been an officer of the Boys Brigade. I train them, I teach them. And when you educate a boy, you are educating a father. You are educating a leader. And tomorrow, who knows that you end up educating a president in Nigeria that is coming out from the Boys Brigade.
All right, Prof, I will take the last from my own side before I hand over to Ejika. You are a fan of Liverpool FC. I wonder why you are not a fan of Arsenal or Manchester United or Chelsea, but you belong to where they don't walk alone. How do you draw inspiration or lessons from football into leadership and engineering?
I've been a Liverpool fan for the past 35 years. And
wow.
I've been following Liverpool, even when we lost, even when we had no trophy, even when we played the final with AC Milan. I can still remember that match vividly. Liverpool was 3 goals down. We are playing the final Champions Cup. I left the television. I told my wife, I'm going in. Then she come and told me that we have scored 1. I said, forget it. She told me that, Liverpool has scored 2. Then I came back and sat down at the parlor. Then Gerald equalized the 3rd one, and we won and took up the Champions Cup. The idea of Liverpool being there is that they never give up. They are dogged fighters. Liverpool never give up in anything they do. Beat them, they will continue to fight until when the whistle is blown. So I've been their fan, I will continue to be their fan. And God's willing, 2025, 2026 season, we are retaining the Premier League, that's for sure. And we are still topping the league as of today with 9 points. We are the only team that have scored all our 3 matches with no draw coming to us. So you can see the inspiration comes from never give up, be dogged, be fighting, and until it is over. As long as it's not over, continue to fight.
Well, I wish you good luck, and I wish your team good luck also. Eji, can I hand over to you?
Well, Prof, you can see that I'm laughing. Between myself and your club, you know what that means. I'm a United fan. So, you know I
No
don't like
comment
you.
for Man U, no comment.
All right, Prof. You know, community development seems close to your heart from everything that you have been saying. Boys Brigade and all through your life, especially impacting and mentoring people. Now, can you share a project or initiative that gave you deep personal fulfillment?
Yes, I have a project I want to share in Bauchi. It has to do with our office, the Boys Brigade office. When we started, virtually we had nothing. I saw practical demonstration of people carrying blocks on their head. I see communal effort. I saw determination. I saw people moving with wheelbarrow. If you see a challenge that has been an issue, you end up seeing people trying to go over the challenge. You will be encouraged. Another area is when we are casting a decking of a particular church. People were singing, carrying concrete on their head. I see communal effort. I saw commitment. I saw people casting. There is a bridge in Tafawa Balewa called Muari Bridge, a very big bridge that had a support of an NGO. The NGO bought materials, but they said they are not ready to pay for labor. So the labor, the entire community came. The excavation was done manually. People were doing the labor manually. You can see commitment. And those bridges are still there. So when you see an infrastructure constructed from communal effort, you saw the sweat of people putting in. You saw the commitment of people doing it. I think you thump off for such community. So there are quite a lot of few projects that I will continue to remember and I'll continue to cherish because people put in their best to see that this project become what it is. Because that infrastructure has been a challenge to the community and they came up to overcome it. So I use this opportunity to invite or to call on communities that are still waiting for government for impact. Do not wait for government. Come out and try your communal effort. When there's communal effort, people will see your effort and help will surely come than folding your arms and allowing things to go. Especially drainages. You see, we are in time of rainy season. And at times, lack of drainage end up causing community to be flooded. But if there is drainage, you find out that it will save a lot of community from flood. Please and please, don't wait for government. Come out and involve yourself in construction of infrastructure. It will end up saving the community.
Oh, that's a very good one, Prof. So, with Nigeria's growing infrastructural needs, what role do you see for indigenous research and development in bridging the gap?
I see a bright future in Nigeria. You see, the problem of Nigeria is the issue of class. I will tell you the truth. People want to have the best house. They want to have the best infrastructure. You want to ride the best car. You want to have the best house. Nobody have this type of house in the community. I'm the owner. Is that our goal? Everything you want the best. No. That is why when I came in as the DG of NIBRI, I agitated that imported materials should be banned. Imported construction materials, government should ban it. When government banned the importation of foreign goods, foreign materials, we'll be forced to look inward. When we look inwards, we end up patronizing our own product. Once we patronize our product, it might not look good. It might not look perfect. But once it is patronized, the producer will be encouraged to produce another product. He'll be making mistakes, but at the end, he will become perfect. Perfection does not come overnight. It comes with time. It comes with patronage. I call on the government to continue. I'm still agitating on construction materials to be banned. For instance, we have no business importing tiles. We have no business importing quite a lot of construction materials. We have no business importing steel. We have no business importing POP materials. We have no business, but people go to China, buy this thing, flood our market with it. When people come, they say they want the best. And our own product is there. As far as you don't buy our own product, how do we even add value to what our producers are producing? Research is all about producing a product. When you do a research, you produce a product. You can only improve on the research when that product is used, and people will give you the feedback from that product. People are not buying the product. There is no feedback from the product. You, a researcher, how will you research in form of indigenous research? And that is why I continue to call on government. Countries that made good, they ban the importation of these goods. Ban importation of this. Let us look inwards. As we look inwards, we will improve on the product. Research will improve when the product is patronized. And by so doing, Nigeria will move. Our research will fill in the gaps with the other research from our foreign country. But if not, look at our population for God's sake. We have a population of not less than 220 million. Assuming all these 220 million are patronizing our products, do you think our innovators will be lacking? Do you think our research will not have patronage? The market is there. Assuming we started producing a vehicle, even if it is ladder, there used to be a vehicle called ladder before. It was an Indian product being assembled in Nigeria and it disappeared. Let's assume we start producing this ladder and let it be a law. Nobody buys any product but ladder. I want to assure you in the next 2-3 years, the quality of ladder product you will see in Nigeria will be something else. So I call on the government to see to it that Presidential Order number 5 is implemented. The order is there, the law is there, but enforcing the law is where the problem is. Presidential Order number 5 is perfect, is good, but it is not enforced. That is the problem.
Prof, on one hand, you're an agency of the government, so we would say you are part of the government as well. So how can institutions like NIBRI better collaborate with universities, with the industries, and the government for innovation?
You see, these 3 bodies or 4 bodies, government, industry, academia, these 3 are supposed to be interwoven and work hand in hand. When I came, I tried to look at the approach of going to the industry, identifying their needs, and coming up to do innovation in line with the need of the industry. But all my effort proves abortive. I said, okay, let's look at it now. For instance, construction industry. Let's take Julius Berger, for instance. What do they need in the industry of Julius Berger? They are using concrete products. They are using steel products. They are using this. Can we, as a research agency, can we have a mixed proportion that will be adopted for different types of their infrastructure so that they can patronize us? So that when we come up with a research findings that is good, we take it to the industry for them to use. Government should bring out a policy so that these industries must patronize the research, the academy carry out research. For instance, now the industry can put a chair. As I mentioned earlier, I was in Netherlands last 2 months. What they normally do basically is to fund a research in the university. And the outcome of the research goes to the industry. For instance, they'll visit an industry, identify the need of the industry, they'll create a topic, create a research that is basically geared towards addressing challenges of the industry. Then the industry in particular, they will fund the research 100%. After the research is promising, they take the outcome of the research to the industry. But we don't have such things here. Government should come up with a policy. Certain percentage of whatever the industry is doing should come from the findings of the academics. The outcome of the academy, the research coming from the academy, should be sponsored by the industry. Government should play a fair playing ground so that these two can operate very well. The problem of academicians these days is the issue of non-patronage of their research findings. All their research findings, nobody seems to patronize them. No matter how beautiful it is in the shelf. They just use it to publish papers. They just to get points and be promoted. When you become professor, that's the end. The research are there in the shelf. Have we ever seen an industry patronizing them? No. Do we have a policy on ground by the government that enforces the industry to patronize them? No. So you can see government is to be blamed. The academicians also they are to blame, and so on. An idea of putting only paper as requirement for promotion to become a professor or whatever rank in the university, I am totally against it. Somebody will just sit there, write paper, it doesn't do anything. As long as the paper is accepted, you'll be promoted. What is the essence of the work he's doing? Is the paper implementable practically? These and other things, I think the government needs to look inwards and see how they can come up with a way of creating a good working relationship between the three sectors.
That's very good, Prof. So, having interacted with both local and international platforms, what differences do you see in the way other countries approach infrastructure research compared to Nigeria?
Sorry, I didn't get the last question, please. It was, what's the question?
Okay, can you hear me now, Prof?
Hello?
Am I clear, Prof?
Wow.
Prof, can you hear me now?
I'm not getting it. Silent. It's just silent. I'm not getting anything. Yes. What's the question?
Okay. How about now? Is it better now?
Yes, it's now better. It's better.
Okay. Having interacted with both local and international platforms, what differences do you see in the way other countries approach infrastructure research compared to Nigeria?
Okay. This seems like okay. I think what I've interacted in different fora with foreign countries, academicians in foreign country, we met in different conferences. I'm in TRB in the US, Canada, Delft, and other countries that we have interacted with. One thing they do is that most of this research has direction and linkages with the industry. They work hand in hand. Our own that synergy is not there. The academics are just working on their own. Universities or schools are established as political platforms, not on merits. Now, take for instance now, where you have quite a lot of agricultural products that can do this. Maybe there should be a research in that area. Schools has to be in line with what you can produce. But people look at that aspect from the perspective of saying, we need this, we did this, These people have school. I'm also going to have school. These people have, as if, I don't know, the way we do our things, as if we try not to look at it from the objective point of view. We look at it from the right. If people have this, we must have it. And it's like a political way of settlement. That's how it is done. We don't know how many universities we end up with. Every sector of the National Assembly, everybody would like a school. Everybody would like hospital. Everybody would, I don't know the number, where the number will stop, but we are still moving. Universities are continuing to grow. But the idea is that the community are not feeling the impact of the university as we have in the foreign countries. Foreign country, you see people working, the university and the community and the government working to get a result that is positive, but that is not happening in Nigeria. I would like to see where communities, where government and the university work together. When there is a problem, send the problem to the university. The university are supposed to bring solution to the problem. For instance, now, where we are saying that Naira and dollar exchange rate is on the high side, pack all the professional economists, lock them in a house, provide food for them, provide everything to them, tell them nobody comes out until you bring solution where Naira will become at least 300 Naira to a dollar. You must bring that solution. If not, nobody comes out. Lock them. I am sure something good will come from it. Give our universities, academicians, challenge them, give them ability to address challenges in our society. I'm sure the government can work with the academicians far better than what is being done today, in line with their counterparts in the foreign countries.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. So, Prof, what do you want to be remembered for?
Where? In the university or in Ibri?
In life, what do you want to be remembered for? When they hear the name Engineer Professor Samson Duna, what should come to mind? What would you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for someone who has ensured that research output are put into use. I want to remember where right things are done the right way. I want to be remembered where construction materials are used in a manner that it is supposed to be used. I want to be remembered where infrastructure don't collapse. I want to be remembered where engineers put in their best so that their best is seen everywhere. I want to be remembered where integrity needs to be played into so that in terms of engineering, all the engineers do what they are supposed to do the right way. And most importantly, I want to be remembered, especially in NEPRI, for bringing the best equipment that add value in area of research.
Wow, that's a very good one. So I clap for that. Now, finally, Prof, what advice would you give to young Nigerian engineers aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
You said what? I didn't hear you. The last question.
Okay. Finally, what advice would you give to young Nigerian engineers aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
Okay. Advice to young Nigerians.
Aspiring to follow in your footsteps. Yes, Prof.
Okay. My advice to young Nigerians is one, there is no shortcut to comfortable life. Most of these young ones, if you look at it, everybody wants to make money overnight. Please, I appeal to all of them. Hard work is the key to whatever they want to do. Shortcut to life does not exist. Even if it exists, there is repercussion for that. I would like them to be hardworking. I would like them to have integrity in whatever thing they are doing. I would like them to be honest, especially in the field of engineering. Sometimes when you go for visitation or you want to supervise a project, one area of thing is that they will do what we call inducement by influencing you and giving you money so that you oversee what you are doing. Please and please, integrity is the watchword. If you have that integrity, you are hardworking, no shortcut. In life as an engineer, you will surely make it with time. There is no shortcut to luxury and comfort. That is what I have for them.
Wow. Can we please use the emojis to give Prof a round of applause? Let's throw him flowers. Let's appreciate Prof for this wonderful session. Yes, let the applause go up. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. We are going now to the second segment of this program, and that is what we call the corner kick segment. And that is when we allow our participants to ask questions. So if you have a question, you click on the reaction button and you click raise hand, and the host will allow you to ask your question. But please just go straight to the question. Don't just go straight to the question, and please don't start exchanging pleasantries so that others will have opportunity to ask their questions also. Thank you very much. So if you have your question, you click the reaction button and you raise your hand with Stephen Ogaji, Engineer Professor Stephen Ogaji.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks, Prof, for this very passionate and exciting presentation. I enjoyed every bit. Whenever commissioner invites me for his programs, I always like to attend because it's always exciting. Prof, I just have one question. I would have thought that some of the things you mentioned, for which you said rightly that you have actually been pushing and lobbying for some localization of things, especially in the construction industry. I would have been, my worry is, why is it that coming from your directorate, it is not implemented? Is there something wrong? Is there something that needs to be done? If you want something to be banned and say, tell the government, we can do this locally, we should support this locally, why wouldn't your agency, I mean, the ministry under which your agency functions, be able to push that through so that we begin to indigenize a lot of things locally? I'm a bit worried. I would like to know what are the challenges and what needs to be done more to ensure that we can localize a lot of these technologies, for especially for building, which is not the super technology. It's still the basic. We should start doing something. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. You see, based on the mandate of my agency, I don't have the power to enforce. Mine is a research agency that has to do with investigation of building and road research. And the body responsible for banning of an item basically has to go through different sectors. But any opportunity I have where government officials are there, I speak about it. It's part of what we in science and tech, because my agency is under science and tech, it is our own idea that idea of Presidential Order number 5 originated from. The Presidential Order number 5 originated from Federal Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation. We are the one that look at the aspect of coming up with labor, coming up with materials, coming up with the way things are done. We said everything has to be indigenous, if possible. But the problem is that you cannot just give a law and allow your border to be porous. It will not work. What we want is enforcement of ensuring that those items that are produced in Nigeria are blocked from coming in. Prof, it's not easy as you think, but we'll continue to push for it. When the opportunity comes, we'll continue to push for it so that that enforcement can come into play. Thank you very much.
Okay. We take Engineer Ades Uchenna. Engineer Ades Uchenna, can you unmute and ask your question? Okay, if you're not ready, we can take Stephen Otroni.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go on, please.
Okay. Oh, sorry for that delay. Yes, my question, thank you very much for the insightful presentation. I actually want to know regarding to road construction and based on what you've explained regarding concerning that, I want to know the most that is, how do you evaluate the life cycle cost of a road project versus initial construction cost?
You want
I don't know whether
how you evaluate the...
How do you, yes, the life cycle cost of road project versus initial construction cost? Just say I need more insight on that, sir.
Are you talking about the lifespan of a road with respect to the design specification? Are you talking about the type of material to be used with respect to
road construction?
Yes, road construction goes with design. When you design a road, then you can bill it with respect to cost. Then with that, there is a lifespan with respect to the type of road you are talking about, whether it is a rigid pavement road or it is a flexible pavement road, whether the road has dual drainages, is it drain to drain? What type of shoulder do you have? And what thickness do you have? Do you have wearing costs and binding costs? What thickness is your stone base? What thickness is your base cost? Is it a lateral base road or a concrete based road? So a lot of things makes up a road, and a lot of things makes up the cost of a road. You cannot sit down and say this one is it. It depends on your design. From design, you look at the material that can come up from it, and you look at the type of topography you are talking about. Do you have road blast on the road? Are you blasting rocks? Are you evacuating unsuitable material? What is the haulage distance? Where are you bringing the material? There are a lot of factors to be considered, my sister. It's not something that we can all discuss here, but the cost of road, a lot of factors is involved.
Oh, okay, sir. And secondly, I want you to also clarify this for me. How do you see intelligent transportation system shaping future road construction? How do you see intelligent transportation system shaping future road construction? I think that's my last question.
Okay. Intelligent in shaping future road is good. But even if you don't have the road, how do you even plan for the transportation? The idea is that
Prof, you are muted. Please check and unmute yourself. Thank you. Prof,
Please, can you unmute? Prof, please, can you unmute yourself? Okay, go on.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, what I'm saying is that you cannot have a good transportation system without good road networks. They go hand in hand. Before you plan using AI, the roads has to be there. If you don't have a good network system, your planning of AI will not work. AI goes with something good with respect to network. If the networks are there, then you can bring out AI to plan. AI can help you in planning. But before the AI helps you to planning, you need to do some data collection. What are the traffic volume? What are the type of vehicle? At what time did it have this and this? Quite a lot of data is required for the planning. And before you get those data, you must identify if the road is motorable or not. Because if it is not motorable, it will cause friction. The friction on the road will lead to traffic congestion, and the flow of traffic will not be there. So data collection is very, very important before the use of AI. AI can come in, but you need to collect your data so that it is using the appropriate function to get the required flow.
Okay, we take Engineer Camila Maliki.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Commissioner. And thank you, Prof. It is a very, very exciting session. And I want to join you to wish this country very well. My question has to do with how do you collaborate with Standard Organization of Nigeria and Koren to ensure that some of these, your very laudable plan, particularly on the banning of some of these Chinese products or products that we can produce locally, so that we can get our own innovations through our own locally sourced resources as engineers. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. First and foremost, NIPRI and Standard Organization of Nigeria will be working together hand to hand. We've been more or less assisting SON in carrying out tests on materials that they don't have the equipment at times. You see, the last time when I visited the president of Nigerian Society of Engineers, I brought an idea to her. I said, before, medicine and other things are all under standards. But when medicine became very important, an agency was created to cater for medicine under NAFDAC. NAFDAC was given the responsibility of ensuring that fake drugs were catered for. I pleaded with her and all engineers and people working in the construction sector. If we can put our heads together to come up with a strong point, telling people that construction sector need an agency on its own. It's so wide. We need an agency that identifies fake and good ones. We need an agency that can block and protect the indigenous ones produced in Nigeria. So that, because the work is too wide for SON, hotels are under SON, toothpick, everything is SON, apart from drugs, bread, everything you talk about produced in this country is SON. It's too wide for them. And coincidentally, I used to be a board member of SON. We collaborate, we work together. If SON want to carry out some tests in steel, they come to NIPRI. If they want to carry out some tests sometimes on blocks, they come to NIPRI. If they want to carry out some tests on some materials, they come to NIPRI. And we have been working together. We'll be working together with Koren, as you mentioned. The president of Koren, Prof, is my senior, which I respect very well. We have worked together. And as of now, we have a program we are running together with them so that to ensure that we add value to the engineering sector. So basically, collaboration with Koren, collaboration with NSC, collaboration with Standard Organization of Nigeria, NIPRI is into that. But all these people, they don't have the power. They can only agitate for it. They don't have the power to block the importation of materials. It has to come from FEC. It has to come from policy of the government. The policy of the government cannot come until when there is agitation from people in that sector. That's why I call on people to put in more effort. Let's create an agency that caters for the construction materials. Just like NAFDAC are now taking care of medicine. Create an agency that caters for construction materials. It will help us. Thank you very much.
Okay, can we have Stephen Otroyi? Stephen, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Good evening, my Honorable Commissioner and the Prof. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. My question is, you have, having crossed from the university to the public sector, what innovation or new ideas that if you have opportunity, you will want it implemented in the university or in your lifetime, that you want it to be implemented in your own lifetime? Then secondly, in terms of the equipment in NIBRI, I will recommend or oblige you that you subsidize those research equipment for the students so that it will help them during their research process. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Prof, before you answer, I think we take these last two people so that we can, conclude with their questions. Ike Chukwugu, please, can you quickly unmute and ask your question? Just one.
Okay, thank you so much, my Honorable Commissioner. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening.
Yes, my question is on. I actually have two questions, but if I'm not allowed, let me just do one. On bamboo sticks reinforcement in concrete, how long have the research gone in determining the, how do you determine, for instance, in reinforced steel, we have several, diameters of steel. How do you determine the sizes of bamboo to be used and all that? Then my second question, please, if you will allow.
We take one. We
Okay,
take
please.
one because of time. Bello Ahmad.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Bello Ahmad,
can you hear him? I can't hear
please?
anything here.
Bello Ahmad.
Hello?
Bello Ahmad, can you ask your question?
No. I think his network is poor.
Yes, I can't hear him.
Okay, Prof, can you respond?
Can I respond to the first question that someone asked?
Yes, can you respond to the other question?
Hello?
Prof, go on, please.
Can I respond?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, go on. Go on.
Okay. The first question asked by the previous speaker was, what do I think, since I've worked in the university and now in the public sector, what do I think I can add that will add value to the university? The first thing, if I have the opportunity, is that the promotion requirement for university, I could have squashed it off, where only papers are assessed to judge staff to become professors. I could have added journals to be accepted must be journals that have the tendency of being implemented. You cannot just write journal and just do the X and leave it on the shelf. What for? What is that relevant to people? You have to bring something that is implementable, something practically, something that can be demonstrated for all to see. And that is one aspect that I feel it should come in. Whatever you do that has no sense of belonging, it should carry little or no marks because it doesn't make sense. Whatever you are doing, whatever research you are doing, it should be relevant and it should be very useful for the community. The other aspect that I could have come up with is the area of meeting continuously between industry, academics, and the government. There should be a committee that meets almost every month to give progress report of what is going on. Every sector, every industry must be linked to a particular thing in the school. Industry will not exist on their own. When you reach a certain level, you are sent to go to the industry and work. If you work in the industry, there should be synergy. What I mean is that this thing cannot exist in isolation. If you're a teacher, you teach for 4, 5 years, 3 years, you go to the industry, work in the site, come back. For instance, there is somebody might be in the class teaching reinforced concrete, and he has never supervised a story building in his life. Then what are you teaching to students? You have never designed a structure, talk less of implicating the structure being implemented. What are we talking about? I want where synergies exist between teachers that are teaching engineering courses or courses that are practical in nature. They should be involved in going to the industry and work. Work for 2, 3 years, then come back to the university and work. And that will be the way the synergy will happen. If that is done, fine, that will be perfect. Say you are teaching engineering, you are teaching civil engineering, the entire of your life, you've been teaching in the classroom without going to the field to test. Then what are you teaching the students at the end? So those are a few things that I feel it should be done with respect to that. Somebody asked a question with respect to diameter of bamboo. It is not, the bamboo were not cut with respect to diameter. They were cut in terms of size. The diameter is cut in form of a perimeter. So the bamboo was sliced out like this, and the bamboo before using it was basically mesmerized. You treat the bamboo against decay, but it does not replace steel 100%. The stirrups are made up of steel. The main reinforcement are made up of bamboo, but the distribution are made up of steel. And it was there standing. We were able to construct a story building. It is standing in Ota. Please, you can take a look at that. If you go to Ota, opposite the Covenant University, Nibri has a 79 hectares of land in Ota. Take a visit to that location. You will see a building standing, and we call that building Bamboo House. The main reinforcement was replaced with bamboo, and the building is still standing. Sorry, the other question, he was not audible enough. I didn't hear the question. Talk less of me to respond. Thank you very much.
Hello,
Thank you. Okay.
Ejika, go.
Okay, no, I think we are done with the questions.
Hello?
Okay, are we done with the questions, sir? Okay, let's take this last one. Ikechukwu Ozode, that will be our last question for the evening. Let's have you quickly unmute yourself, and then we go to the other segment of the event. Thank you. Ikechukwu, please go ahead. That will be our last question. Okay, I think we can't have him unmute himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been a wonderful time with our guests.
Okay,
Engineer Ben, go
before
ahead.
Ejika, before we
Hello,
wrap it up, we are now going to
can I speak
the
now?
extra time segment, the time when we ask questions. We'll be asking
Questions.
the first question, and the first person to get the correct answer will win the first prize. The second person, after the second question, win the second prize, and the third person after the third question. The first question is, what year did Prof join Boys Brigade? Go.
I didn't hear the question, please. I'm just joining now.
I
Okay,
said,
I
what
think
year
we
did Prof join the Boys Brigade?
already have the answer.
Prof, can you hear us?
You're asking me which year did I join the Boys Brigade?
No, it's not you. We are not asking the participants. This is the final segment of the program where we ask questions, where we put the participants on the hot seat, and we ask them questions about yourself, and the first to win, to get the correct answer, gets the first prize. So what year? Yours is to confirm the correct answer. When you look at the chat box, you will see the submissions from our participants, and you confirm who sent in the first correct answer. What year did you join the Boys Brigade? Confirm.
We have
What
in the
year did I
chat
join the
box
Boys Brigade?
1976.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so the first
Who
person
was
to
the
put
first
in
to,
their
for your
submission.
own end, who was the first to get in correct answer? I have
didn't
from
get
my
it right.
end,
I better give it to him. I didn't get it right.
Olawale Emiola.
Emiola.
Yes.
Emiola Olawale got the correct answer first.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, we take the second question. What year was Prof reappointed as DG of Nibri? Prof, keep quiet, and watch the person that will send in the correct answer first. Okay. Prof, can you confirm the correct answer? What year were you reappointed as the DG of Nibri? I think Ejika will take the first two correct answers as second and third so that we can wrap it up for today because of time.
Okay.
Prof, what year were you reappointed?
My first appointment was 2020. Reappointed 2024.
Reappointed 2024. From my own end, we have Emiola cannot be qualified to answer for the
So we'll
second
give
time
the next person.
because the next person we have is Engineer M.I. Musa.
M.I. Musa.
And Engineer Chinedu Honor from my own end. Please confirm, Ejika.
That's correct, sir. Chinedu Honor.
And the M.I. Musa. Engineer
Yes, sir.
M.I. Musa is takes the second position. And
Yes.
Engineer Chinedu Honor takes the
Chinedu
third
Honor
position.
take the third position.
Ejika, please, you type in your number. They will contact you when after the event, we discuss with Prof and we get the prizes across to the winners. Once again, I want to, on behalf of the host, thank all the participants for participating in today's edition of Inside the Arena. I want to sincerely thank our very senior colleagues who joined us in today's program, and all the participants. We want to say a very big thank you to you. And most importantly, we want to say a very big thank you to our guest, Engineer Professor Samson Duna, for creating our time to be part of this program. Prof, we want to thank you immensely for staying to the end. We pray that God will continue to bless
Thank you.
and
The
keep
pleasure
you.
is mine. I appreciate everything.
Thank you,
Prof.
everyone.
Thank you, my commissioner. Thank you. I appreciate.
And my co-host, Emmanuel Ejika, I say thank you and may God bless you. Have a very beautiful night and a great weekend ahead. Thanks
Thank
and
you
God
very
bless
much.
you. It's my pleasure to officially sign out. My name is Engineer Ben O.C. Oko. I'm your host. Thank you and good night.